I just wrote a script called Bad Magic, which is a pilot of a single camera comedy, and it's bawdy and it's fast and it takes no prisoners. And it was my attempt to not do comedy that's very smug and in love with itself.
That's it.
And I think a lot of comedies right now are very smug, not just American comedies, but there's a lot of comedies out there that are comedies that you maybe have one titter or two and it's kind of amusing. I remember, the days of sitcom like Frasier or like the like, where you would have massive laughs. And so I saw John Cleese I think it was John Cleese talk about this on Graham Norton. I might be wrong, but the difference between, say, British or European comedy versus American comedy is that American comedy is very gag-based and British comedy is situational-based. So if you look at most American sitcoms, it's gag, maybe leading up to a situation, but it's about the gag writers and a very thin story. Look at something like Only Fools and Horses. One of the funniest moments is the chandelier bit, right? And they build up to that. And there isn't a gag, there's no punchline. He's like, they're holding out the cloth under the chandelier and Rodney's an idiot. And he cuts the chain on the wrong chandelier and it falls. That scene is so brilliant. That moment where that chandelier falls is perfect situational comedy because, the characters, it's character-based. And, it's why that British comedy works internationally because you're setting up. Friends was very good at that. There was, because you knew the characters well. My favorite episode is when Joey has an audition, but they need someone who's not circumcised. Do you remember this at all? And he's circumcised. I forget the reasons why but anyways, in the audition, he has to drop his pants to prove he's not circumcised. So like all of us who will go to the nth degree to get a part sometimes, he ends up, I think, taking some Play-Doh or silly putty and massaging it around and the way they do it is great, massaging it onto him. And there's a scene at the end of the episode where they're behind him and you can see there's the casting director, the producer, the director at the table, and he comes in and says hi. And we've been building up to this situation the entire time. And it's very similar to the chandelier moment in Only Fools and Horses, in that the camera goes down as he drops his pants and you see them going like this. And then suddenly the piece falls off the end and hits the floor. Like this end of the silly putty hits the floor and there's a clunk and a pregnant pause. And you just see everyone's face. It's the funniest thing. That moment, that, to me, that's great comedy, character-driven comedy, because then it's timeless.